8 years later, that hope has been tested by the cost of war, by one of the worst economic crises in history, and by political gridlock that's left us wondering whether it's still even possible to tackle the challenges of our time.
Dang, Barack just jumped into his speech blaming with both feet, didn't he? Barack, you can't keep blaming others for things, especially when you're making things worse. It's like a glimpse into Barack's childhood when he tried to blame the dog for eating his homework. Barack, quit trying to blame the dog. You hate the dog.
I think what's happening. Propaganda.
The dog ate my college transcripts. I'm playing. Okay. Oh, and just to keep it on the level, I personally wouldn't eat a dog. But if that's how it is in certain cultures, dig in. I ain't tripping. I like to eat lobster sometime. You probably like to eat lobster too, even though it's basically an ocean-dwelling cockroach. People keep pigs as pets. And don't tell me that sometimes when you're petting your pet pig, you don't catch yourself imagining that you're massaging a savory dry rub into them. And I myself, I don't even really dig on swine. Anyway, back to Obama's speech. Dude, if the unemployment rate was at 5%, that wouldn't be an economic crisis. What's come back to bite you though, like filet of Fido back from the dead, is you liberals forcing banks to loan money to people who showed no proof that they could pay it back. And things like forcing us to remain dependent on foreign oil while also forcing the implementation of the costly and less efficient green industry. The green industry is about as good for America as Bill Clinton would be for talking about respect for women. Yeah, respect women by treating them like sex objects. Yeah, respect women, just not your wife. But of course, it's not Bill's fault that he's a cheater, it's Hillary's fault. Hey, so much for sticking up for one of your fellow liberal feminists. And speaking of Bill, and we can talk about Obama's speech another time, because he just gave the same speech like last week or something. It's the same speech he gave the time before that too. Keep blaming the Republicans for what he supposedly inherited, and hope that they'll forget that it was liberal policies responsible for our economic downturn. Kind of like how people would praise the Democrats because a couple of Kennedys got MLK released from jail, while forgetting that it was the Democrats who put MLK in jail in the first place. And of course, just like people would be conditioned to blame Bush for 9/11, they would forget that while Clinton was president for 8 years, he did nothing about Al-Qaeda. Some of y'all may remember me talking about this a few years back.
Let's go back a little bit. The World Trade Center was hit back in 1993 by Al-Qaeda. Bill Clinton did nothing. You had the USS Cole was hit by Al-Qaeda. Bill Clinton did nothing. You had U.S. embassies that were hit by Al-Qaeda. Bill Clinton did Monica Lewinsky. Bill Clinton knew that Al-Qaeda was a hostile and active enemy against the United States, and he did nothing. And you want to blame George Bush?
But y'all, liberal Democrats are masterful at projecting the things they're guilty of onto Republicans, or just promoting the idea that America in general is guilty. The people, the corporations, the military, the church and stuff. They stigmatize others to throw people off their scent and position themselves as the righteous after their smear fest. And it's happening right there in front of their face, and they fall for it. And they fall for their own illusions. They said for years how much the rest of the world hates us so much because of Bush. We've lost our standing in the world because of Bush. Yet despite how much people hate us in the world, it couldn't have been any of those haters in the world that attacked us. No, 9/11 was an inside job. Right. Now, even though I totally disagree with things like 9/11 being an inside job, I do believe that America is being destroyed from the inside. It's being destroyed by liberalism, selfishness, covetousness, envy, false accusations, projections, languishment, debauchery, Real Housewives, MSNBC, HBO, and Honey Boo Boo. I'm AlfonZo Rachel with ZoNation, where 9/11 was a horrible event, but we're still rolling. Then the country took another hit. Obama was elected president, but we're still rolling. I mean, sure, we're rolling along with a flat tire or a smoking radiator followed by sparks from a dragon tailpipe while running on vapors with a person at the wheel who looks at the teleprompter more than he looks at the road. But hey, one way or another, the ride's gonna be over soon. The dog ate my college transcripts.